So, what a stupid design. Oh, that's good. That weirdo at AutoZone is going to be on my case when I take this oil in. He's going to be like, "Is that gas? Is that gas in there? That's too much gas. It's only got to be oil." It's just enough to not let it fall. So obviously, if we look at that, this thing's been bored out to like a 150. So that's not a 120 at all. That's why you gotta check everything. You never know what you're gonna get. This right here is the lockout for you to have to press the foot brake to put it in reverse. So you take that out, and then we're just gonna zip tie that somewhere, and then you don't need to put it, you don't need to be sitting on it. You don't need to push the foot brake, put it in reverse. And this is the reason why it doesn't want to go in reverse, because if we look down here, there's the linkage, right? So there's high, there's low, there's reverse, and then here's me moving the shifter back and forth. That doesn't move at all. So the slop in here is what's causing it not to get locked into reverse all the way without fiddling with it. And you can't take this off without pulling at least this, unbolt this side and kind of shift it. So skipping that for now. I noticed a couple of things. I'm going to put a zip tie on. Here's the main shift cable, just chilling by the exhaust pipe. So it's going to look like that someday. That's the rear brake cable. So we're going to do a little preventative maintenance. Take a little peek inside this engine. So there's the valve. Looks like it's been seating good. Lots of carbon. Lots and lots of carbon. I bought the wrong one that doesn't have the side camera, so. But that's enough to see that she's getting a little chunky. I'm about to wire in this reverse taillight thing, but got an odd issue. Alright, so it's in neutral. I have a lead tapped into. So these two wires go to the reverse light. So I got that lead tapped in there. And we got 11.9 volts. We'll put it in reverse to light the light up. And then we're at 12. Alright, and then if we switch, you're thinking, oh, the other wire is the hot one. And on that one, same thing. Kind of. So, how does that light light up that voltage, go to 0? Like, what's going on in here? So, instead of dealing with that, I knew that these relays back here were in a horrible spot, but somebody had already broken all of them. So, they were all just kind of hanging out back here. So, this wire right here is actually the proper wire. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna get to it. I don't really want to take all that plastic and rack off to solder a wire. So we might just crimp that one, but that's what we're going to tap into for this. And then this has got to get chopped too, because this is meant to like plug into like the original fitting, but this don't have that kind of fitting. It's just got like barrel connectors, and then it goes all this, and then this is for like the reverse light, like manual mode, but we're tapping it into a wire. So I'm basically just probably going to snip the whole thing right here and then extend, like reconnect, probably steal this wire and then run this wire up to the solenoid right here. Right, tap the other two into the original two, wherever they are, right? Yeah, right here. We'll tap them two into here, and then the third one we'll tap it into here, and then it'll all work. Alright, I'm going to show you this tail light, since we aren't going to be able to see everything that it can do, because we have a 2-wire setup on the original, 4-wire on here. So one's ground, the Big Bear has no brake light. So this is the reverse light. Okay, just a ring around the outside. And then that is supposed to be like the tail light, I guess. And then this is the brake light. So it's both. All right, got just the ring, and then the ring plus the red for the brake light, which we don't have, we're not hooking up, and then all red for the tail light. Alright, so I found something out. Whenever this is all hooked up, there's your tail light, and if you go to put power on the reverse light, that's like in the front of the circuit, and it doesn't switch over. It would have to kill power to this to allow power to this, like that. So that's a pretty jank design. And if you were to what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, if you were to like think, well, I'll just use the brake light version, that doesn't work either. Right? So, what a stupid design. Doesn't even work. It's times like this that you just have to say, Gulka Naha. So what we're going to do per request is that. We're wiring it in like that. Alright, we're going to start peeling back layers to get to this carburetor. So let's see what's inside this air box. It's only got 3 of the 4 screws, and 2 are different. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's been mud in there. That's for sure. Yeah, buddy.
Why is it hot right here?
Yeah, keep dirt out of it. Because the engine's all opened up right there. What do we need to do?
Keep that up. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we might clean a little bit. Oh, that's good.
What?
That's good for an engine. It's sucking mud up. Oh, well, he don't have the drain plug in there. So he's missing the drain plug. The seal was bent over. There was no screw in that corner. There's not even a filter. This is like hard as a rock because it's just embedded with mud. So that's a pretty telltale sign that it was sucking mud in.
Right.
That's always good.
What is good?
It's not good.
Hey, Dad.
Hmm?
You think I can keep this box out?
You probably could, but I don't know if we're gonna do that. I mean, maybe you can. Maybe we'll take this out because it might be easier just to take this out to get the carburetor off.
Yeah.
So.
I was about to say that.
Where's this bolted to?
It bolted to that.
Yeah, but that's bolted to something. I'm trying to take off the least amount of stuff possible.
Oh, this is that bolted to God. That bolted to God. God is God.
Oh, well, that wasn't even. I unscrewed the one thing and the other thing came off. We'll check that out here in a minute. Let's see. Here, think you can get them screws loose right there?
Yep.
And bolts?
Is it a wall and go backwards?
Yeah, it's going backwards. Okay. Let's get this other one.
Wee! It's heavy.
Yeah, we'll put your big boy muscles on and get it over there.
Okay. I just set that down. Boom, boom. Oh!
Okay, yeah, you're ready now, aren't you? Yeah, I mean, you're holding it with one hand. That's better than Facebook mechanics can do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the bolt out.
Okay.
You think you're getting paid by the hour?
Okay. I have to get on that.
You act like you're getting paid by the hour.
I have to.
All right, how about I get this one then? You got one, let me get one.
Yeah, mine saw you saw.
All right, let's not lose that.
I saw one with that.
I don't know if I showed this earlier, but that boot has got some fishy things going on with it. Fishy things. Where's that bolt at? There we go. Where's that bolt at? You just picked it up. All right. Well, there is the shenanigans.
Say this is bolt. I say.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. And this wasn't even tight.
Yeah,
it's bottomed out. Oh yeah, look at that. That's the wrong clamp. Might have to use a different bolt. You done lost the bolt. So you can see there's not any mud. Well, there's a little bit, but the majority of the mud didn't come through here. It was just getting sucked in through the lid and whatnot. No, it looks like you got it. All you gotta do is get it loose so we can do that.
Okay.
Good job. So yeah, that got... it's just sucking in black silicone too. So that got ripped. And this was the patch job. That's what I thought when I peeked in there, but now it's confirmed. So he needs a new boot.
You got your see?
So this petcock leaks. It's not even turning off. Okay, I guess that's our fuel shut off for now. Oh, it's leaking somewhere new. Hopefully, I can just tighten this up for now. That was a little loose. Good job, bud. Set it in here that way. If it
I don't do that. There's gas
that way.
all over.
Yeah, it's getting gas everywhere. If it leaks out in here, it'll catch a bunch of it, and then we can just call up the EPA and dispose of it properly. Yeah, 13 doesn't fit, 14's loose. 1/2 inch doesn't fit. So now we're getting into the bullshit. It's a good test for that boot, if you saw that. You don't even brace it, you just crank on it, give her a good twist, and see if it starts splitting open or not. That'll let you know if she's going to split open out in the middle of the trail and yell, Golkanaha! And then you're pushing it back, saying the same thing. Let's go ahead and just pour this gas out so it lands in the drain pan. No, it's going up into the tubing. That weirdo at AutoZone is going to be on my case when I take this oil in. He's going to be like, is that gas? Is that gas in there? That's too much gas. It's only got to be oil. I don't know what blow-by is. It's just got to be pure oil. See something interesting? This spring is like totally collapsed, implying that that idle is turned all the way in. Let's just see if we can get any kind of turn on it. Like that's it right there. Interesting. Interesting indeed.
Get this cup side.
You're doing a good job.
I get me a soap.
I don't think we need any soap, buddy.
Yeah, look how bright that is. It's actually get water here or 3D to say.
Okay. Don't waste too much soap, okay?
Okay.
That never even had a wire in it. It was never crimped. Why is that in there so good? Huh. That's been in the tip of my screwdriver and dulling up my pick. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but that is just a mangled up jet. All these jets are all mangled up. Let's see if I can pull this one out. I think I moved that a little bit, but that is in there way too tight. never checked that float level. It looks right. Let's see if we can see what number this jet is. $45. And we have a 132. 3/4. So this was out 3/4 of a turn. That don't seem right. Yeah, that's the wrong spring. That thing like shot out of there. You can't even just thread it in. You thread it in, you get that last thread. It's trying to rip that thread out. So we need to modify that spring or something. I want to check this needle position. To do that, I have to take this off. Take this little E-clip off. Separate that. This spring wasn't even under tension. It wasn't even hooked on that. That might have been some of his problem. Now we have this piece. This washer went on this side of it. Now we can pull that off. And then we're not done yet. I'm going to pull 2 more screws out. Pull that piece out of there, which is full of like mud and stuff. And we can see we are on the absolute top notch. The top notch does not always make it run top notch. So what the top notch is doing is it's making this sit down further. Basically this blocks the main jet so it doesn't get too much gas too soon. So that's sitting down further, which is making it get less gas / more air. And you know we have a lean bog. Well, there you go. You're forcing a lean bog whenever you put it like that. So this is probably, almost all these are supposed to be in the middle whenever they come from factory. We're going to set it back to the middle. Okay, so there is no middle. There's 6 notches. So we either have to go a little bit high, a little bit low. And the fact that it was running, I'm going to put it a little bit high. So we're at the 3rd notch from the top now. I tried to get this out. That will not come out. Absolutely will not come out. We have one in here too. That actually looks new. This is why I have 5 different screwdrivers of the same type. It's because you just don't know what size you need. And you gotta use the right stuff or you'll shred that brass. So since this thing was running, we're not gonna put it in the ultrasonic or do anything crazy. We're gonna just give it a basic cleaning. We'll use some chlorinated brake cleaner. Take a paintbrush to some of this, make it pretty, and then blow 100 psi through everything. Make sure it's clear. One thing I do want to do is, I think this seal comes out. Yep. I don't want to lose that seal. So I got rid of all the rubber. The only thing I didn't take out is this, whatever that piece is called. So we have our 132 main jet. It's supposed to have a 120 in there. It does have a Cobra exhaust on it. What I have, I'd like to put a 125 in there. I have a 120. And then I have this drill bit that's 1.16. In general, this isn't true for everything, but in general, a 120 should be 1.2. So we put this through here. You can see it's a tight fit, but it does fit. So I think what we're going to do is we'll take and chuck this up, and then we're just going to ream this out a little bit. If we put this into that 1.32, we can see it's definitely loose in there. But we think we're rich on top end, so we need to go smaller. And this is going to be our starting point. We also found out we have a crank bearing issue and a not true crankshaft, which means he shouldn't be redlining this thing anyway, where that flat spot was. So we'll blow that out, finish cleaning stuff, and we're going to use this one when we put it together. So this pretty much confirms that that spring is the wrong spring. These are two different carbs. This is his carb. So, but this one is Kodiak 400, Big Bear 350. So I guess we're going to give him a spring. Now I'm wondering if he has an aftermarket idle screw. This is mine. This is like a late model Big Bear. This is his, so they could have changed that, or that could be like an aftermarket screw. Alright, look at all these pieces. Okay, here's our starting point. We're going to put the needle back in. We've reset it back the third notch from the top, which when I was looking up this main jet information, that is the stock position allegedly. And we do have a lean bog off idle, and that would be a cause of it. So hopefully that fixes that problem. Okay, now when we put this piece in, we need this arm. It's going to face that way, which means that we need this right here, because we need to put the spring on there, on that little titty, and then squeeze that down and then shove this rod in here like that. So it basically kind of holds itself in place. Oh, you know what? I almost went too fast. I did end up getting this piece out. So we need to put that in. Shove it on this pick, I guess, and then it's got a groove on it, so we want to line the groove up. Just like that. Now we put this piece in. And then we know, let's go ahead and put this little bushing back in, like a little O-ring. Put that in. We got our washer. It's going to go on the side closest to that which we might do this all at the same time. We're going to start putting this in to where this will grab that for us. Let's see if I can show you what I'm doing here. So that grabbed that for us. Raise that up. Slide that through. And then we need that spring to hook right here. Like that. Okay. And then there is threads for that, so we need to make sure that this is twisted. Holding my thumb on it. And that should just thread all the way down without any kind of crazy force. Okay. Now we'll connect this linkage. I've got this little baby E-clip on here. Okay. Flip it over and we'll go ahead and put this piece on. Not 100% sure the proper name for that. Do the air fuel screw next. So we'll do spring first, then the washer. The washer protects the O-ring from the sharp edge of the spring, and then the O-ring. And then this one's tight, but I still like to install them kind of sideways or upside down to make sure that O-ring doesn't try to jump off. Alright, and then we're going to go half, 1, half, 2, half. We're going to set it at 2.5. We have this little washer that was for the main jet. This piece for the main jet's falling. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Don't be trying to ruin the video. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to hold this because this piece is like falling down. That's what the main jet threads into. Okay. I feel like there's supposed to be a baffle on this. It's like a little cup. I'm going to pull one of these other ones apart and see if it's got it real quick. It does not, but this actually has me curious because look how big that jet is. Right? You see how small that is in comparison to that washer. So I'm wondering if it was supposed to have a big jet like that. And that one says 120 right on it. So that one says 120 as well. But that one looks like it's missing this washer for some reason. Okay, here's like a continuation of messing around with the bits here. So I got a 1.27 1.23, 1.18, 1.15. So these are our 120s. 15 fits through that one good. 15 fits through that one good. There's the 18. A little tight, but it's fitting through there. Fits through that one good. This one 100% has been bored out for sure. I can just tell already. So there's our 120. This was the 120, or the 1.18. This is the one we were about to put in there. And then here would be a hair past like the 125 that I was wanting to put in. So if we do the 125 or the 1.27 into this 132, you can see it's just enough to not let it fall. So obviously, if we look at that, this thing's been bored out to like a 150. So that's not a 120 at all. That's why you got to check everything. You never know what you're going to get. Or you never know who's been boring stuff out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, since this 1.22 fits on this 132 kind of loose, which is where we're going to have it after we mess with it, we're not going to use this one. And then this was the big one. So this one is the 1.17. This is the one we used to like bore this one out. So what we're going to do is we're going to bore this one out with it, which it already fits through there. It's just kind of tight. So now we got this one nice and smoothed out. So this is the one that's going to go in here, since I believe it to be the style that should be in here. I'm not 100% sure if it matters at all. And you gotta think it's just sucking gas up through the hole. But it did feel kind of sketchy. I stopped tightening it very tight because it was like about ready to suck through that washer hole. You gotta remember though, sometimes these things are rated for flow rate. They're not rated for bore size. So that number doesn't always work. That number doesn't always work as a reference to what drill bit size it is. If you go to Google and do drill size versus jet size, there's stuff about it. Alright, so we're going to put our pilot in. Put this little baby in here since I got it in my hand. It goes in the float bowl. This one has a name and a purpose, and I don't know either. It's not really important. One thing I did is took a Q-tip with some valve grinding compound, chucked it in a drill, and cleaned that up in there real good where this is going to seat. I did the same to this too. here's the setup to test the float level. Basically, just using this wood clamp to kind of hold it upright. So we're level here, and level is this line, not anything else. So we want this line to be level. And I can't get you low enough to actually see the good shot, but we're going to come in here eye level, and we want the fuel to basically line up with the float line right there. So our fuel level should be right there whenever we pour fuel in it, and we got the drain bowl cracked loose. So let's pour a little in, see what happens. Okay, we are pulling inside of the funnel. So let me pour out what's in the funnel. And it looks like we are just a hair high. So what we need to do is we need to bend this out. So a lot of times you can take and line up a flat spot on the float. Could be a mold line, could be this line, could be this line in this case to here. You can see it's already that way a little bit. So that's just kind of a reference. That's not really the exact measurement. And there is a measurement too, probably in the service manual, but that assumes everything's perfect on this, nothing's wore out. So in this case, we need to bend down more. So we need to take and bend this little tang right here. We need to bend this just ever so slightly. Alright, now you can see we are right on the money. So that tells me the valve seal on the intake valve is leaking, because there shouldn't be a bunch of crust on that intake valve like that. Not on something like this anyway, where it doesn't suck its own farts per se, where the crank vent loops back into the intake. This crank vent loops into the intake, but it settles like a catch can instead of just getting blasted like straight in here like modern cars. So all of that's built up from that valve seal, slowly leaking, and then it gets burnt to it from the heat. Checking the valve clearance while we have access. This one should be 2 to 4, and there's 4. The other one should be 6 to 8, and it's 7. So we're going to put this one at 3. Alright, so now we're 3. 3 and 7, right in the middle.